Christmasland.
What's going on, all you ghouls and vampires? It's Logan Myerz back here for Cinephellas.com tonight. I'm going to be talking about the brand new first episode of Season 2 of NOS4A2. So Henry and I, my best friend, we went to C2E2 in Chicago last March, when we saw a press screener of the pilot episode. We've been big fans ever since seeing that. We watched the first season, had a great time with it. The second season they pick up with Vic McQueen, played by Ashley Cummings, really fantastic young actress. From the first season, we see at the very end, she's pregnant. It's basically the death of Charlie Manx, played by Zachary Quinto. And they fast forward in season 2, which is kind of surprising, 8 years. And now we have Vic at 26, and she has her kid named Wayne. Not a baby anymore, he's about 8 years old, young kid. And she's dating the character from the first season, Lou. We can see that Vic McQueen is much like her parents. She's now an alcoholic, drinking all the time, even when she's watching her kid or working. She definitely has a problem. She hides bottles of booze around the house, and her boyfriend, Lou, is like, you need to stop drinking. It's really affecting your life and your relationship with your young son. She's still dealing with all the shit 8 years later, everything that happened to her in the first season with Charlie Manx. Her riding her bike on the magical bridge, taking her to other places, finding lost things. And just everything she went through in the first season. It was not a good time for her in Massachusetts, so now she's trying to move forward with life and knowing that Charlie Manx is finally dead. And it sets up that aspect in the show. They confirm Charlie is dead. The autopsy, the cops, the FBI, everybody's like, he's dead. And deep down inside, Vic is like, yeah, he's still alive, so I need proof. And it sets up later in the episode where she hops on her bike, goes on the magical bridge to the hospital to get confirmation if Charlie Manx is actually dead. But the setup of this episode, it's pretty good for the most part, seeing these characters older, even though Vic McQueen pretty much looks the same. She just has more tattoos now, and she's a mom, but she looks the same. And all the other characters look the same as well. So we see an older Vic, and she's basically working at the shop, and she's working on her bike and fixes that up. And she goes for a joyride a few times in this episode. Late at night, she just takes off. She's like, fuck my family, I'm gonna go for a ride. And with that being said, we also have Bing returning in this episode. He was kind of the wingman, Charlie Manx's wingman in the first season, the heavier set guy. But he's on the hunt for the Wraith. Charlie's Rolls Royce, he eventually finds it with this other guy that kind of set up in this episode, but he wants to get it back. That is recuperated. Maybe Charlie will come back to life. So Bing is trying to track this down. He's up to his old creepy ways as he was in the first season, but it was cool seeing him again. Another character they reintroduced in the first episode of season 2 is Maggie. She has all the little dice that, spell out words. In the first season, it spelled out Wraith, having to do with Charlie and his car. But she returns. It's 8 years later, and she's older now, having a job, and she doesn't deal with that stuff anymore. But of course, Vic is freaking out, reaches out to Maggie in the episode, and they have a really funny conversation. And that they're going to get back together, and Charlie's probably going to come back this season, obviously. But leading up until the end, we really don't get to see Zachary Quinto because Charlie is dead, as they confirmed in the episode. But, he's obviously going to come back, and it has to do with Bing and the car and some other things they do in the episode. I'm really excited to see this character come back. Charlie was probably one of the most terrifying villains of last year, especially in TV. I thought they did a really great job with him with the prosthetics. Him de-aging throughout the season, him starting out really old, and then him looking normal like he does now, probably in his 30s or 40s. So it's going to be really interesting. I'm not sure what they're going to do with this season, how they're going to bring back Charlie, and what's going to happen to Vic and all these characters. I'm guessing Lou probably won't last too long, which is Vic's boyfriend. I don't know, for some odd reason, I don't think he's going to last in this. And we're going to see more of Christmasland. We got to see a little glimpse of it in the first episode, the children at Christmasland. All the lights are off. Charlie's dead. They're trying to figure out what exactly happened. But they really do introduce the demon children, and they're really well done with their sharp teeth. And they're going to wreak some havoc in this season. With Joe Hill being the author of the book, I wasn't sure how they're going to really incorporate that or adapt that into a TV show over numerous seasons. So I'm very interested to see where they take these characters. And I really love Ashley Cummings playing Vic McQueen. She's definitely the stand-up performance in the show, obviously the focal point, but she's really great in this role. You can see her growing up, her becoming a mother, and just really making a lot of bad decisions as a mother. But I think the character overall is battling a lot of demons and will overcome them, and then face Charlie Manx once again in season 2. And I really love Ashley Cummings in this episode. She did a really great job. I love seeing the other characters from the first season show up and getting a little glimpse of Charlie Manx himself, and I can't wait to see what he does this season with the children at Christmasland. So overall, I had a really great time. The first episode of season 2 left me with a lot of questions, but it was great fast forwarding 8 years later to see these characters where they're at in their lives and how they're still struggling and trying to overcome all the things that happened to them, you know, in the first season of NOS4A2 is on AMC. This season will be 10 episodes like the first, so definitely check it out if you've not seen it. For the first episode of season 2 of NOS4A2, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 Charlie Manx hair pieces. So if you guys did check out the brand new episode of NOS4A2, what did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? What do you think is going to happen this season? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe. This is Logan Myerz signing out with those evil demon children in Christmasland. Until the next video review. Cheers!